guys, AJ here. Hey, I just wanted to make a quick video for y'all. This is something real simple. A lot of y'all ain't gonna pertain to this anyway because most of y'all are probably gonna have still guns to level up. And right after you know, the new Call of Duty comes out. But if you ever wanted to level up your melee weapon, because I got a couple of melee weapons left to level up, and you wanted to see the best strategy to level them up, I'm gonna just show you some arguments that I use to level up my melee weapons a little bit easier. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the field upgrade. Frenzy Guard. I recommend you put on reactive plates, only because dealing with melee weapons, you can use all the help you can get, and the fact that they're reactive, it's less of a chance of you going down, because you're gonna be, every time a zombie hits you, they're gonna just fall down, and it makes it easier for you to survive. Now, if you was to put on one of these other ones, the fact that Frenzy Guard in itself, every time you kill a zombie, you're gonna repair some of your armor. This just makes it a little bit better, particularly for a melee weapon. This is better for allies, and this is better like if you got a gun that reloads slow or something and you want to just keep shooting from the stock. But either one of these, you can't go wrong. But if you're particularly leveling up a melee weapon, you're better off with this one. Now, that's the field upgrade. As far as the ammo mod goes, it don't really matter that much. But I guess if I had to think of one, if you was to put on Lightman, just make sure it's make sure you make the little pill thing last a little bit longer. But I mean, most of the time I leave it on ally to help my allies heal they're a little bit better. But if you're playing Dolo on director's mode, put this on, and that little thing that just sitting there, it will just react a little bit more. But if you don't change it, it's not the end of the world for that. Let me see. Other than that, let me see. I'm gonna put on, yeah, all of this stuff. Matter of fact, let me start with the perks. The perks are gonna be pretty much the same. Let me see. This doesn't have to change. This doesn't have to change. Jug, I recommend you putting on reactive armor. Most of the time I use this, but it's really personal preference. But particularly with a melee, I like the fact that they get stunned all the time. But I mostly care more about having probiotic on, because of the higher rounds, they're gonna deal a little bit more damage. So the fact that they're dealing more damage, you're gonna be getting hit multiple times. I would rather have more health, but some people would rather have it be reactive all the time. I feel like I can survive better with this on, but for the sake of this particular challenge, I'm gonna put on reactive armor. Now, moving on, melee macchiato. I think that most of the Call of Duties that I remember, at least the last couple of ones, I remember like every time you hit a zombie, you get some of your health back. And it's crazy that you got to put on a particular argument for it to do it, when it just naturally did it in the past. At least back as far as Cold War goes. But anyway, you have to put it on here so you can get some of your health back. Now, as far as all of these go, I feel like this is the better one, because in the higher rounds, you can still hit with one zombie. But for the simple fact that I'm using director's mode and it only stops at 11, I'm going to use stick and move, only because I'm just going to try it out. But I am going to say for the record that if you had to just pick one thing and leave it on there forever, I would say put on this, because even in not much higher rounds, it will still work. You see, it says your punch can one hit, you know, your normal enemies for more rounds. Now, it says punch, but I did confirm that it's a knife as well. There's some things that pertain to just punches, and there's things that pertain to just knives. For example, I love the fact that I get more health. But this one right here said you can punch multiple enemies at once. Now, that's particularly for the punch. Now, if it was for the knife, I could knife 3 zombies at once, I would pick this instead. But it's only a punch, it's not a knife. That's why I chose to leave it on this. So just as for reference, the comparison. Now, as far as all the other ones go, this right here, Speed Cola, I love the fact that you can reload fast. That's what speed cola does. But for this particular challenge, I would rather put on this only because my field upgrade is going to get charged up much faster. And if it gets charged up much faster, I can use it that much more. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to reload quick, but I'm using a melee weapon, so that's the reason why it doesn't matter. Now, as far as your minor goals, I think you should put on fast pitches so you can throw down your decoys or whatever you have a little bit faster. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hit the box as fast, but again, we're using this is for a melee challenge, so that's what I would do. Moving on, vultures, they should be the same. This should be the same. All of this should be the same, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, this should be the same too. I guess elemental pop. The only thing that I would do differently is, okay, I love putting it on this. Every time I reload, it creates that electric spark or whatever. But you got to remember, we're not reloading. We're using a melee weapon. So I like to put on this instead. And you want to see what it does? Enemies that hit you have a chance of triggering a random ammo mod. So you're going to be getting hit every so often. So the fact that you can get hit and you can freeze them or something like that, why not? Let me see. I guess the other thing that I'm going to change is the ammo mod, crowd freeze, only because I have it set for elites, right? I have it for elites, and I always have it on that. So if I'm trying to kill the abomination, I can freeze them probably. But the fact that we're not going to be encountering one at all, I'm going to probably put it on freeze enemies in their place. Now I know that also the ammo mod that you choose to use, you can choose whatever one you want. Personally, I like to use dead wire only because it helps with crowd control. And when the whole crowd is stunned, then I can just melee them all. But I could have the argument that having freeze on there can freeze all the zombies too. And at the same time, I could put on brain rot, and every now and then it activates in a way like a monkey effect happens. So either way, none of them you can really go wrong, I guess. It's all about personal preference. For me, I'm going to use dead wire. That's the one I like to use for crowd control. So anyway, the other thing I'm going to say also is I recommend you put on director's mode, and that's the one you should put on. So that's the one that works for me the most. Now, I could show you like a little bit of gameplay, but that's going to make the video much longer than it already is. So I'm just going to show you my setup real quick. I got Frenzy Guard on. This is the melee weapon that I'm working on. And at the time of this recording anyway, double XP, let me look at the event. The event got like a little bit less than 4 hours. So I'm guessing it's going to be over at 1 o'clock. So by the time y'all watch this video, the event is probably going to be over anyway. But if you happen to have any tokens and you want to level up something, a melee weapon, then you can do it that way also. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video at that. So anyway, I'll check y'all later. Peace out.